In this video, we'll go back in time to the old kingdom of Prussia, to its capital, Königsberg, and to its famous 7 bridges, which changed the history of mathematics forever. There was a popular riddle back in the 18th century. People were discussing whether it was possible to find a route that would allow someone to cross all 7 bridges without crossing any of them more than once. Everybody tried all sorts of walks, drawing down all possible points to start and end the walks, but nobody could come up with a solution. Nobody until an amazing guy decided to take the task: Leonhard Euler. Euler was a Swiss mathematician, physicist, and philosopher who lived in Germany and Russia during the 18th century and who contributed to important areas like mathematical notation and number theory. Euler ignored all the solutions formulated until then and started from scratch. He came up with a way of abstracting the arrangements of bridges and islands. He drew dots, named nodes, to represent islands, and lines called edges connecting these nodes to represent the bridges. These sketches were called graphs and allowed for a deeper understanding of the connections while ignoring the real-life aspects. This is why this graph represents the same as this graph. Euler discovered the general rule for these kinds of problems. A walk can be completed in any graph which has only 0 or 2 nodes with an odd number of connections. This was proven to be true, but why does this rule work? It's quite easy to understand. Once travelers arrive at one node, via one bridge, they must leave via another. For this reason, every connection to and from a node or landmass must occur in pairs. This would be the case in which a graph has no nodes with an odd number of connections. There is just one exception. If the possible Eulerian walk started and ended in different nodes, these 2 nodes would have to have one more edge each. In the case of the starting node, the traveler would have to get out at least once without the need to enter again. And in the case of the ending node, the traveler would need to enter at least once without the need to leave. This exception is why the rule also adds that it is possible to perform an Eulerian walk in a graph with exactly 2 nodes with an odd number of edges. So, coming back to Königsberg, all the 4 islands have an odd number of edges. 3 islands have 3 edges, and 1 island has 5 edges. So, according to this rule, it is impossible to solve this riddle and cross all the bridges only once. The type of walk described by the riddle became known as an Eulerian walk, and these types of graphs gave origin to an important area of mathematics, graph theory, that came to explain and solve many modern problems, like designing algorithms that let navigation software, like Waze or Google Maps, find the shortest route from one point to another. Another example could be the algorithms that route traffic on the internet, where connected devices are seen as a node, part of a bigger web. To conclude, Königsberg is not Königsberg anymore. After World War II, it became Kaliningrad and is now a Russian exclave. The 7 bridges are not there anymore. Some were bombed and not all of them rebuilt. But Euler and his graphs became an important part of science that still stands strong today. This goes to show that what a single person can do in their lifetime can affect for eternity the life of a whole lot of people.